Well, how you keeping? It's Friday. Oh, it's fucking Friday. Means nothing to me, really, if the truth be told, because what the fuck, like, as we talked in the past about this, that it kind of means nothing. Days of the week doesn't mean anything, but you know what, it means something. It means something to the man or the woman that's working 9 to 5 days a week. God bless you. What the fuck's the crack? How are you getting on? You're all very welcome to episode 69, baby. I know, I'm a child, that number still actually sticks out in my head as being something that actually matters. Holy Jesus Christ. Welcome to episode 69 with your host, Tom O'Mahony of Buckshot. Yeah, for Friday, the 2nd of August. We're into fucking August. Can you believe that shit? Where the fuck has the year gone? What have you done with your year? Has it been the year you said it was going to be a new year? New year, new me. Huh? Has it been that? Is it that? Has it changed you? Have you been different? Have you done anything amazing this year? I hope you have. If you haven't, who gives a fuck? Do you know what? You may have even invested in Buckshot through Patreon. You may have. But you're all very welcome. Thank you very much to this one. We made it to 69 and along with the RamblePod and all the rest of it. Thanks very much for all the sound fucking stuff during the week about RamblePod. People are liking it. I got into a fucking row with the dog and people fucking seem to like that. Who knew? She's here snoozing beside me because she's fucked. The heat is back. It's 28 degrees outside of pure sticky humidity. So the dog is burlix. Took her for a bit of a fucking hike. And she fucking, yeah, she's knackered here beside me. So there's not a peep out of her today. Thanks very much. All the pictures coming through. Some funny shit. Some cool shit. Just stuff. Snapshots of the old fucking screenshots of where they're listening. Where people are listening. Boys and girls all over the world just sending me pictures. Listening to this shit at work. Fucking lads from Sydney. Girls from fucking Canada. Class. I love that shit. Keep sending that stuff in. Even if it's just not a picture of what you're actually at. Just send me a picture of the actual screenshot of the podcast. Let me know what you're fucking doing. Fucking class. Love that stuff. Quickly, what was I doing? I was on Shaw last night. When was I talking to you last? On Tuesday? Yeah, I was on Shaw. I fucking love that place. It's on Camden Street upstairs on Wednesday nights is the Unshaw Comedy Club. Tuesday nights, was I in there on Tuesday night? I was there Tuesday night the week previous. But I was there last night. Good crack. Tried out some new stuff and it didn't completely die in its hole. So there might be something in it. But yeah, gee, and lads, about 3 people this week have bought mugs. Mugs for the Tea Republic shop. For Tom O'Mahony's Tea Republic shop. If you haven't given it a look, give it a look for the crack. And because the logo is really cool. And I'm not saying that because it's my logo, but it was kind of out of my hands, the design of it in a certain degree, but it's actually really cool. And now the RamblePod, the image of the words RamblePod is actually up there too. So you can get that on whatever the fuck you want, really. From laptop cases to fucking beer cozies to mugs to t-shirts to hoodies. Have a go. Like I said, if enough of these things, people actually are into it. I'd love actually people to be sending me pictures. I know one has gone to Glasgow anyway. A chap I know is after buying a bare knuckle comedy one. A mug has gone to Glasgow. There's one gone to, is it Craigavon? Someone in Craigavon is after buying something anyway. Is after buying a mug. And 2 of the t-shirts went to somewhere in England yesterday. Do you know what? That's kind of telling me that people are kind of into it because the logo is kind of cool. I want pictures, if you're listening, I want pictures of you wearing it or drinking from it or whatever the hell. And send it on to me. On whatever platform you can find me on. Because I'm very easy to fucking find. So yeah, that was fucking pretty cool. Moving swiftly along, this has been a good week. I'll be talking about it all on RamblePod or whatever. Because we had the Panto launch. Well, not the launch, but the photo shoot. And lo and behold, any fans of Damo and Ivor, I had not put 2 and 2 together when I saw the names down on the cast list. Davy Crowley, but it was down as David Crowley, which I didn't have a fucking notion who David Crowley played Oisin, the ultimate baddie, in both Damo and Ivor 1 and Damo and Ivor Series 2. So we travelled down together yesterday. Again, I'll fill you in on the crack on that next week. Moving swiftly along to today's podcast. This one was some crack. This was last Saturday. It was kind of during the... Shut up, dog. Fucking hell. Wakes up and just starts shouting. Shut up to fuck, will you? Fucking hell tonight. Nothing. Just barking in the fucking inner sleep. This one was done in the International Comedy Club upstairs. And it was to be with Fred Cooke. And only Fred Cooke, which is all I'd asked. But Fred had been hungover hanging around with the very famous and fantastic and sound as a pound Sean Walsh. The boys had been to the cinema. hungover as fuck, went to 4D version of Mission Impossible. And the boys nearly pissed their pants because they didn't know it was 4D, and all of a sudden the fucking chair started vibrating. The sky starts pissing rain out of it. Fucking all sorts of wind blowing across them. They were not in good shape for it. So, I met the boys downstairs. I said, Fred, Sean, do you want to come on upstairs? And we were recording the club. Sean was eating stew, trying to get over his hangover. I said, bring the fucking stew, man. So this is a weird podcast, but it's good fucking crack. Because Sean is just eating in the background. He's just eating stew. And then about 10, 15 minutes in, he goes, I said, come on, join us now that you're done. Jump on in. And we had a really good fucking 3-way chat, and then he had to up and fuck off because he had a gig up in the Vodafone Festival at 7 o'clock. He was late as fuck. He was going to have to grab a cab. And then myself and Fred continued on with the podcast, and it was actually just a really, really enjoyable episode. Although the fucking Hari Krishnas, for some reason, and I was only after praising them on Instagram as I was walking past because they seemed like a happy bunch of fuckers. Little did I know when I was going to get down to the fucking and start my podcast that the fuckers were going to follow me. They started some sort of parade down the middle of fucking Wicklow Street, and I genuinely thought music was after coming on in the club. So we get heckled. Please excuse it. We do get heckled about halfway through for about 2 minutes by a Hari Krishna fucking tribute act traipsing down the fucking street outside, just outside the window, right outside the fucking window. So, just, if anything, just relish our fucking confusion as to what the fuck is going on. 3 fucking fellas going, what? I wasn't hungover myself, but I was on the process of getting there, if you know what I mean. But it was done in sobriety, but had it been an hour or two later, it wouldn't have been. But the podcast was good crack. So, without further ado, please give it up for both Fred Cooke and Sean Walsh.
In the background,
Yeah. Just the weirdness of it. This is what makes fucking. That's why I love podcasting. There's no rhyme or reason to it, especially if you don't make it a team. Like if you were all about fucking religion or whatever you're about. You go, excuse me, this is just about fucking Egypt doing weird fucking things.
Yeah.
But thank you very much to both of you. I mean, Sean has been in the background scoffing stew. I like that, and we have the fantastic Fred Cooke.
You're very kind, Tom.
Yeah,
thanks very much.
We were we met, or we were on the same bill on Thursday night, and I had an epiphany about the fucking oddity of what we were doing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You got it though. Like.
Yeah. It's such a luxury to be able to do comedy festivals and meet friends, comedians, and to be able to perform. It's really lovely. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's lovely to get paid as well.
Yeah.
And, what we were saying was, if you were in transition year, that year before you do your final exams in college, and you haven't decided what you wanted to do, you know, if you were looking, hanging out with comedians, I'm sure you'd quickly make a quick decision that you might, I could easily see it, just a kid going, I just want to do stand-up and tell jokes, this is where it's at, you know, this is the crack. That's what we feel. We feel we're lucky to be in that situation.
It was bizarre, but sure, I mean, we were looking at it and catching, just the bizarreness of it. We weren't the most bizarreness lineup.
No, not at all. Not at all. Yeah.
A bunch of mad fuckers.
Yeah.
Actually, Jared Regan described it when I walked in. I was wearing another hunting jacket or something. He's like, see, you're not out of fucking place here. He goes, there are only 2 environments where you wouldn't be. In a hunting environment and here. It's like...
Yeah, that's funny.
But you kind of get away with being a silly bollocks, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Especially for I guess everyone's got their different styles, but even the most serious dark comedians, I often find you can find some silly self-deprecation there somewhere. You know,
there has to be,
and performance. Do you know, there's a performance in deadpan.
Oh, there is.
It's just more subtle, but it's definitely there. You know.
But even as Gerard Staunton.
Yeah.
Like Gerard was in the States, and they didn't in one or two places in New York, especially, they didn't get him. They came up for a hug afterwards. See, was he all right? Like, and Gerard was going, no. Like I'm in great form. This is my thing.
So don't get the tragedy.
Don't get the tragedy at all. And it's brilliantly tragic. Like.
Yeah.
It's the beard and the kind of the doughy eyes. Like they just.
Yeah. And he let you wait on it. You leave it hanging,
he let it soak.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. What did you do beforehand?
I had loads before comedy.
Yeah, in the real world.
Yeah, in the real world. Oh man, so many jobs. Well, I became a lifeguard in a swimming pool in Kells.
Is that the truth?
That is the truth.
You told me that before.
And I went from being a lifeguard to a swimming instructor because there was courses in there to become a swimming instructor, and then I did that.
I can't swim.
Yeah, I'll teach you, Sean.
Okay.
No, definitely will. Like, so it's just about getting comfortable with the.
You can't swim.
No.
And you strike me as something you with your hair is kind of like you look like a guy who could fucking rip through the water.
Yeah. Right,
Shit.
Yeah.
Right. We have that on the bill.
Yeah.
It's all about the breathing, the rhythm of breathing. You know, like if you get comfortable with that. Because if you get comfortable with that, I think there's a great fear that comes from like 1 to 5 with experiences with water with kids. So I mean, like something might happen, and it might, you know, they just might be slightly afraid of something, and that creates a slight element of subconscious panic and fear for grown-ups when they get into the water. You know what I mean? Like they put their head underwater. Yeah. So I always try to break that. So I used to do one-on-one classes, starting off with like grown-ups. And we just used to just breathe under the water and put our heads back up. Breathe underwater, put our heads back up. You know, like blow out, come up, breathe in, blow out. And like 15 minutes in, the man's like, "Here, I haven't gone 1 meter yet swimming. What's going on?" You know what I mean? Like, well, this isn't swimming.
This is what I fucking paid for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you're trying to create a comfort there and then work from there. You know. Was
that your technique you came up with? Like, was that one that was like?
No, I've seen it. Yeah, definitely. But you can see it. You can see it with group classes. You know, like. You know, I'm sure people with both hands, there could be like 80 or 90. I've seen 8-year-olds learn how to swim, and they've got their head down and just not swimming, just got their hands on the side of the deck with their head in the water. They take it up and their head down and they take it up, and it's just just getting comfortable with the water. So it kind of, you know, people always say that, you know, when you look at the sea, that the sea can be your greatest friend and also your worst.
Right.
And it's understanding those hazards and the uncomfortable position people have with water, like. So I just realised as a swimming instructor that it was breathing was the thing, you know, which is funny enough. Ironically, not even ironically, but poignantly, I often feel with stand-up that breathing's a great technique. I remember with Tommy, he said, "You've got great timing," Tommy Tiernan, and he said it's in the breathing. It's actually in the breathing.
That's funny to break it down into like actual biology, like of how it goes about it.
If you take your time, and I know for me, like Before I go on stage, I do breathing techniques, and it's not. I never need to work myself up on stage. I never need to go. Get in the zone. I'm always looking. I'm always.
You're in the zone. Your engine is at about 8,000 revs all the time. It's only a matter of time before Fred needs a fucking carburetor change.
So I breathe myself down. Do you know, I have to breathe. You know, like 10 minutes might take less. You know, like once 5 minutes, so I can walk on stage and I'm comfortable with my breath.
Right.
You know, so I can just let the crowd acknowledge me.
And that's interesting that's how you link it.
Oh, no, it is. Just to be in control. Because, you know, when you're nervous, you know, like, even if there's someone you fancy or you're trying to be cool with the lads and you say a joke, you might fuck it up because you're not in control of your breath. You're too nervous. You know, and it's trying to control that. And I do think that's connected to swimming. And a fundamental basic thing, just to be in control of your breath. It's survival
at the moment, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. But just to control the moment. You're controlling the moment. So breathing for me was always and I've only really realised that in the last 3 years.
I was hoping you were going to say, and I've only just realised it during this podcast.
I think this is my first day I started breathing, and I feel very healthy about it.
Oh, had you done anything else after that? Because I mean, I think Ireland's first kind of proper look at Fred was you stole the show on a Spar ad.
That's it,
Did you know you were stealing the show, or was you know what I mean?
Well, I did a casting. Yeah, I did loads of ads.
Like we all did, queuing up with all the guys.
And so I've done loads of ads before that in the background. Do you know, I was in the Meteor ads, and I was in a Tato ad. I was in an ad for Jameson Whiskey. All in the background, but you know, I said if I play my cards right here, you know what I mean, just keep at it, turning up, and they were looking for a character, a certain face, and what the character they were looking for was someone who looks like someone who's never done a day's work in his life. Do you know, slightly shambolic to
very Sean Walsh is nodding in the background.
So when I walked in to do the casting for that, the director just looked at me, no mess, he goes, "Yep, I think we got this." And that was it.
You know all the signs of a fellow who had never done a tap.
Yeah. So slightly shambolic, but and so that was But I did one ad. Do you remember the cornflake box? That's the 1 litre, which is 9 years old, like this year, and then. That was received quite well, you know, just a nice ad. The nice thing about those ads, I often felt, like they weren't overdone and they weren't underdone. Like they were just nice.
Just leave it in leave it for how funny it is. Like
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they weren't. Like I would have said yes to anything back then as far as that. So I could have been in almost. So I feel very lucky with those ads.
I do. You actually, totally,
Because, sometimes I look at some insurance ads or ads for will. This whole emotional music and stuff. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I could have been in one of those. Like so. Just feel lucky that I got those ones, and that they were generally like.
Fucking hell, they were good though. No.
Yeah, they were. But it had very little to do with me. I just turned up and did silly faces.
Yeah, but whoever was editing quickly realised, we better hang it all around this fella's neck because there's no point. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a couple of lads that have gotten like the X ads, and I don't know his name, but he's instantly recognisable. Yeah, but he's funny. His facial expressions are funny
exactly,
anyway.
Yeah.
And there was, were you full-time at stand-up at that stage?
No, I wasn't. Actually, I was. Do you know what I was? Look at my calendar now. I went full-time in 2008.
Right.
So those ads were 2009, the first one. So, and I do kind of feel lucky that I was full-time for a year. Or I was making, I was professional 2 years before those ads went out. Because I think it would have been very hard for me as a comedian. Maybe. Right. I never know this, but I often think I still would have got gigs. But the thing is that industry was giving me gigs because I was Fred Cooke. Yeah. I had established myself. You know what I mean?
It's a really good name you have too.
Do you know what I mean? Cheers.
No, it is. Fred Cooke is a great name. Like I can tell you here now, you would never be my solicitor. Not a hope. Not a hope. If I rocked into the office and you're like, "What's the crack?" I go, no, that's fine. You're not. I represent myself, but as my comedian.
Yeah, I was thinking of going Freddie Cooke, but then I was like, like Freddie Starr, Tommy Cooper, Tommy Turner.
Were you really?
Yeah. 2 months ago.
2 months ago?
Yeah, 2 months ago. I was thinking of changing my name to Freddie Cooke.
Are you joking?
No, I swear to God.
Why would you try and reinvent yourself now?
No, I was just thinking about it. I didn't go in and change my name or anything like. So.
When I started, I'd speak up because I'm away.
Do you know what? Would you scooch over this side? Yeah.
Check the time. When I started,
we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah.
My name was going to be Ian Loft.
Yeah.
That was going to be my stage name.
Why Ian Loft?
Ian Loft. Because I started relatively young. I started at like 20, 21, and so at that age you're still petrified of people from college and school coming to see you. Brighton's quite small, so that was the fear. Is like, would my name be on a poster and then people from school come? So I thought I need a stage name, and Ian Holloway is my favourite ever manager at QPR. So I thought Ian, and then Loftus Road, the stadium of QPR Loft. So Ian Loft. That was nearly my name.
Brilliant name.
Jesus, that is a good name.
Yeah.
I
don't think so.
But Ian Loft. Didn't you give yourself an extra N?
Yes.
See, it is in Ireland if you think about it, because you'll never meet somebody called Loft. But in the UK, there's a lot of names that are,
But Ian Loft is black. Ian Loft could be a solicitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally could.
Ian Loft.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
He's boring. Ian Loft.
I often thought about, because people have asked me all the time, and is that your stage name? It's like, what? I wouldn't have. Shit, yeah.
But when did you come up with the bear?
That was not my doing at all.
Yeah.
It was my very first gig. And that had been a nickname for me years ago, because I was a rough fucking savage way before comedy. Yeah. Like you wouldn't have gotten on at all with me, but times changed.
What do you mean?
I was just a fucking lunatic. I was a fucking lunatic.
You didn't know?
I've known Tom 10 years now, I'd say.
Yeah.
So it's before that?
Yeah. I was way rougher than I should have been. Fights.
Full of
full of aggro, because you see the environment we were in at the time, right? And I was given far too much responsibility prior to comedy in the way of construction, right? And it fed into how I grew up. I grew up in. Where the fuck is that coming from? I grew up in an environment of everybody had to be a hard bastard. There was no fuck you and your emotions, any of that kind of stuff. It was everybody had to be a hard bastard. And
just Tipperary.
There was no leave on. Hold on. Is that coming? Is that in here? That music
on the main street.
Is it? Oh, it's the Hari Krishnas.
It's not.
It's the fucking Hari Krishnas. It is. Yeah.
It is not.
You're being heckled by Hari Krishna.
Wow.
We're all being heckled by Hari Krishna, and that was the thing. And I had a nickname because I came from the countryside of things, and I think I probably put on a bit of a front, even in front of all the other lads from the town and stuff. And the nickname became The Bear. And the very first night I did, because it was just as rough as a bear's arse. That's basically how it was. Everything was aggressive, abrasive, everything. Every fucking word. Like, you don't meet these kind of people typically, like, but they are out there. And my very first gig, as I was about to go on stage, one of the lads went, call him The Bear. And your man went, Tom. And the people from the Evening Echo down in Cork were at the gig, weirdly. And they quoted me as that. And it only meant, I said, I'll stick it in there for humour.
Yeah.
The couple of first gigs. And people just took it. They just went, well, he's obviously Tom the Bear.
Tom the Bear. Okay. That's a good one to get, isn't it?
So that's your stage name, Tom?
No, it's Tom O'Mahony. But everybody in comedy, for the first few times they saw my name on posters or on Facebook, they went, well, he's clearly Tom the Bear. He fits in with it.
Yeah.
Where it originally came from was when I was very young. And we're finding out where the meaning of your surnames came from. So O'Mahony originally goes back to the Irish word Anvacan, which means the bear.
Okay.
Which goes way back to the time when they used to actually have bears in Ireland, and our crowd killed them all off, basically. And that was where it originally stemmed from. And I hadn't managed. I hadn't heard it in ages. And then you brought me on stage the other night.
Do people not still call you? I introduced you as Tom the Bear O'Mahony.
All the lads in the north still do. All the lads, because they just went, no, it fits your character. And no, if you knew where it came from, it's not. It was just headbanger, like. Because like that, when you get thrown into the construction world, back when the boom was going heavy, I was mid-20s, and you're given so much responsibility. You're like, well, here's €500 million worth of a job. Go out and run that fucking thing or I'll kill you. You're going grey in your 20s. And you just, all you know is to be as aggressive as you can to men. All of them are older than you, and there's 400 of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't switch off. You go to the pub and you go, right, I'm going to drink 15 pints and I'm going to go have a scrap.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to, there's nothing in place.
Yeah.
There's nothing in place for you to deal with that level of fucking stress. And there's no way somebody my age should have had it, but it was that. Comedy was the best thing that ever happened to me.
That's what it was a de-stressor.
Oh, for fuck's sake, was it what? Like, I mean, versus any other type of life, like.
Because on stage, you don't come across stressful at all. You've got great poise, and you're very relaxed. It's you're the antithesis of what you just said there. You know what I mean? Like there's no tension at all with you on stage. It's very relaxed and funny.
Yeah, I think I suppose it's just growing up. I've evolved quickly with comedy. One of my first open mics was here, and Fred was on the bill, and it was Fred, Neil Denemer, Des Bishop, and Demo Clark.
Oh wow!
What a fucking lineup! And I got the ultimate compliment of Fred in the most brilliantly backhanded country way. I came off stage after having a very good open spot, right? And I came off and Fred went, you'll get him next time, Tom. Just be the joke. But I got it. It was like, that's a perfect fucking compliment.
I did that to Cara Tobin once. Do you remember Cara Tobin?
She was a very good comedian.
Yeah.
But
Sean, do you remember Cara?
Yeah.
Like, she's still around. Like,
God bless her, but she was very frail. She took it to heart too much.
That's
I think.
the thing.
Like,
she came off and did a great gig, and I just went, don't worry about it. I thought you did well, like, jokingly, like with comedians, you know what I mean? She went, what you mean, don't you got annoyed at me? And I had to take a step back. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
Oh, Jesus, right. And when you started at 21, was that out of college?
It's like a college and then a couple of years working at a pub.
Right.
And
how did it, how did it manifest? You go, I'm going to give that a go.
I kept putting my name down at open mic nights, bottling it because I was too scared. And then I'd go to Comedia, which is the club in Brighton.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, without fail. Even if a friend wouldn't go with me, I'd go on my own. You just if you do that for a few years, you start to become accustomed to what good stand-up is, or weaker stand-up or whatever. And then I think this is quite normal for people that really like comedy, live comedy, is you'd start to guess where the punchlines are going to be.
Right.
And then sometimes you guess a punchline and then they would do their punchline and you think, no, mine was better. I got it wrong, but if you'd said mine, that would have got a bigger laugh. And then I don't know who it was, and this is very common whenever I hear an interview of it, like a fellow comic, that so often people get into it because they watched someone dreadful.
Yeah.
And then went, I can do this. I don't think it was dreadful. I don't know who it was. I can't remember. But I watched someone. It must have been an open spot in the middle.
Yeah.
And I just went, right, I've just got to stop bottling it. And I went to put my name down, and they had ended the open mic night and replaced it with a course. I did a course.
Did you?
Yeah. And I thought that was a great idea because it would mean that I'd have to spend my mum's money. She would have to pay for the course. And I wouldn't be able to drop out of the gig. Because that would be a waste of my mum's money. It was £112 for 12 weeks.
That makes sense, that you would, you've backed yourself into a corner.
Exactly, and so, I did it, and there you go. That was it.
Where was yours first?
My first gig was in UCD, University College Dublin. I was a student, and do you know when people say, how long have you been doing comedy? I mean, do you honestly say from your very first gig? Because technically you have a 5-year gap in between that. Technically I've been 19 years at it, if that's the truth. But I haven't really, but I was doing the open spot, the 10-minute open spot, and
you got 10 minutes on your open spot.
Did you? In college, and I was supporting Joe Rooney, and this MC John Moynes was on, and I got so drunk that I went on stage, and the review in the college paper the next week was Joe Rooney as Father Damon's Father Ted, great, punching out the heavy jokes. And as for the middle spot, he had great stage presence, even though no one understood one word he was saying. It was so, and like there's that moment when June is an open spot, with this great support, and I had loads of my town there. I didn't want them to even know, but like people do come to see you.
Oh, they do, of course.
Yeah, like a practice. It might have been like, honestly, I'm not even joking. Looking back, I'd say there was like at least 60 people from my hometown, came to the gig and scattered around, and there's a big cheer and support, and then into the 2 minutes into that, the silence does happen, you know what I mean? And it's like, are you cut out for this? And my friends were like, it's a really quantum leap moment. It's like, oh boy, here we go. It wasn't. I didn't have the chops first.
When you started, did you have the guitar?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I had those. Do you remember these little electronic musical tunes? And I had these two sounds that were like this, and I had another one where I tried these little, and it's the same sounds. Well, what I did was I got the
I wanted all Mr. T quotes on.
Yeah. So I just had this gun with this sound, and I put it up, and I sang Boys and Girls over to that. School's like a jungle, call the police, ding ding. This is the same octave jump. And
I can appreciate that technical touch.
Yeah. No, I got a clap for that. That was my saviour. Like, if I didn't have that bit at the end, like, it would have been just like, that's it now, and you'd hear the sound of the mic come back into the mic stand.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you invite people to your first gig?
Do you know what? Weirdly, I did, and that's something that I never like friends coming to my gigs now, but I did.
Hey, what's the crack? Listen, we'll be back in 1 minute there to the podcast. Just want to say a big shout out to everybody who's actually donated and paid interest in the actual Patreon account. We have a Patreon page for the podcast. It's patreon.com/Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. I'll put the description link in the box at the bottom of this. If you don't know what Patreon is, essentially what it does is it allows you to donate to something, mostly podcasts is what it is. And basically it allows us to expand these fucking things. So you can go on producing as producers, as a team of producers. You can go ahead and actually allow us to make these fucking things. So, and like I said, my goal through this is actually just getting better gear. So I can produce better sound, better video footage, and fair play to everybody who's actually contacted me and giving me advice on video footage and all the rest of it. And basically it just allows us to make fucking more stuff, more podcasts. So, a donation would be fucking fantastic. Also, exclusively for the Patreon customers, Patreon patrons, I should say, a couple of videos gone up now. I've just put up and finished the one with Mickey Bartlett. So if you'd like to watch that video of myself and Mickey having a chin wag, that is up there exclusively for patrons of Patreon only. Listen, throw in a couple of quid. It helps everything. If you'd buy a man a cup of tea, fuck that in. Fuck the price of a cup of coffee or a cup of tea in. If you want to give more and you think the podcast is worth more to you and you don't want to drive it on, you have a few extra fucking quid that you give if you buy a fella a pint, throw that in. It's really easy. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description. Also, like I was saying earlier, we have a Tea Republic shop now. If you do want to get anything all the way down to fucking stickers, everything is up there now in the way of the logo, the actual text of Buckshot, and the text of Ramblepod, as well as another logo that I had for Bare Knuckle Comedy, which is cool as fuck. I'll put the link in the description of this as well. For now, lads, fair play to you. Jump on it. Patreon.com/Tom O'Mahony Buckshot. Right, back to the actual podcast.
I was so excited. It's all I ever wanted to do. So I invited my best friends. A few of my best friends.
Yeah, came. I thought just 3 of the boys were going to show up. Bastards told everybody. And like that, like 50 people showed up. But mine wasn't even in a proper club.
Where was it?
I signed up drunkenly. Yeah. Even though I said the lads, come back in 5 weeks. I'd been tricked into it, but they signed me up because I got drunk and said, absolutely, I'd love to do this. And I ended up in a soccer club out in Passage West in Cork. Like the following Saturday night, and I only found out about it on Tuesday, and I was ready to shoot myself. Like this is the most terrifying thing because I hadn't banked on it. Yeah. But thankfully, like I didn't drink. Had I drunk, it would have gone tits up. But at least the 7 minutes that I was told to do, they were some way fun. It would have been a complete shit show otherwise. Like, but I remember even one of the lads went, maybe have a bottle to take the edge off, and I just shook it all over the floor like I was trying to shake it back. I made a total fucking.
Oh yeah, I had the shakes. Yeah, I was trembling. I thought I was going to piss myself.
Do you get nervous anymore?
No, not at all.
Do you?
Sometimes, but the breathing helps. Do you know, right? We control that. But if I don't do that, but it depends on the gig. It depends on the. I won't say all gigs aren't important, but sometimes you do something where more people are watching it. So you're more heightened.
You understand the weight of the situation.
If it's a bigger gig, then I'll have to and maybe feel those nerves coming in. Yeah, I'll stamp them out. I will have to stamp them out, but I will go on stage with no nerves.
So you have a mental ability to, because you've obviously done a ton of stand up on telly. So I mean, you know the telly cameras are there. What's your method for going? Get the fuck out of my head.
So I think one thing that really helps is sitting down. That you can't pace. No, literally just sit down and don't think about the gig. And if you can, talk to someone and just completely. Stop thinking about the gig. Don't think, and then there's nothing to be nervous about because you've sort of forgotten you're going to do it. Like that's what I did yesterday because I was really tired. So then I started getting nervous. Oh God, am I going to be able to do this? Because I'm so tired.
Because you're a bit frail,
I'd been up since 5 a.m. and I sort of eaten hours ago before I'd been on, and I just thought, these are the nerves. I've not experienced these in ages. So I just sat down on the floor and then went. Brilliant. Because you just train yourself over a year of consciously trying to fight these nerves, and so now it's almost like Pavlovian's dog. If I sit down, sit down, my body goes, "Oh, give it a nerves."
Brilliant.
You know, but it takes stress. So that was like I told Fred this the other week after a gig. That was like over a year of training myself to completely get rid of those nerves because I just think they're crippling in every. People say, "Oh, if you're not nervous, you're doing something wrong," and I just don't. I just absolutely don't agree with it. There is no benefit to nerves whatsoever. Adrenaline or whatever, you know, when you walk out and then the crowd cheer and you get a bit excited. That's different.
That's slamming it into fourth gear.
Absolutely. But nerves, I have no time for it. There's no good nerves.
Because Kevin Gilday was a couple of weeks ago. He was asking me, because you look like you never get nervous. I said, no, there are nerves. I said, but you gotta nut up or shut up, and actually get it to work in your favour,
I used to be petrified.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I used to do? I used to think the opposite of what I think now, which is I used to think that I couldn't do it without the nerves, right? And what I used to do, this is mad, I've only just remembered this, and I did this for years, is I would shut my eyes, I'd go into a little space in the green room, find a corner where no one could see me, shut my eyes and imagine the gig going terribly. Imagine dying on my arse.
Oh Lord.
To get even more and more and more nervous. Yeah. So that there was, absolutely terrified. So that there was basically no choice but to have a good gig.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Obviously it doesn't work. It sounds brilliant, but obviously it doesn't work like that. Because you can't control every gig. Well, when you're that new, especially. Yeah. So, you go out and have a crap gig and then all those nerves that I'd built up, just, you'd be so
But it just compounds then. If you do end up having a terrible gig, you're like, right, so that's what,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was awful. Whereas if you go out there with no nerves, you come off, there's not much fall.
Yeah.
But I think stage time as well really helps. Just
Well, it's like fighters or anything. Exactly, if you could take a long time off, you get rusty as hell. Yeah. You'll rust up in a fortnight.
Yeah.
From stand up,
when you hear people saying you just need more confidence, I hate that. Like you can't. That confidence, I think, comes through stage time. And when people see someone on stage and they go, "Oh, they just lack a bit of confidence," it's not that they lack confidence. They're just not comfortable in themselves at the moment. And for them to get to that stage is kind of, you know, like just relaxing into it and stuff. I remember Reginald D. Hunter saying to me, maybe 8 years ago, and it was a lovely bit of advice, but I was kind of annoyed at the time when he said it. He goes, you just need to be yourself.
Yeah.
Just relax and be yourself, be your funny self. And I was looking at him going, well, that's okay for you to say, isn't it? You're Reginald D. Hunter. You're the coolest, funniest guy going. Like, I don't even know where I am, you know what I mean? But I know exactly what he meant now, you know what I mean? Like, to just be, you're manually making yourself unfazed, so you can just go out there and enjoy it.
Well, that gets to a point too. Like, that's the thing. As you said, it was easy for him to say that. Like, but when you listen to what Sean is saying right there,
exactly.
he's racked up his 10,000 hours. So now you're in the groove, and it's up to you to fuck it up. Basically, after that, isn't it? Like, it's an interest, like, because like that. I mean, people thought I was, and these are like. I remember one of the lads was even sitting with me on my first one, going, "What the fuck are you doing this to us?" And both of us were fighters. Both of us were MMA fighters.
Yeah,
you were an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Jesus.
Fuck. But no, trust me, there's going in and punching something. But again, it's all about you're used to. I've been fighting from the age of 4. I started martial arts.
How did you cope with the pain?
It's honestly.
Why are we talking about comedy when you did MMA?
Pain. Honestly, God, it is nothing close to how deep something mentally can hit you. Pain is on the surface, like and you can. The thing is, you walk around with a badge of pride. Then you're like, yeah, fuck it. It hurts like shit in my brain. I can't really fucking speak properly for a day. But there's a badge of honor in that. But it's honestly once you get used to it, it's just like your breathing technique. Once you actually physically get used to it, like you drop you or Sean into a pool right now. Both of you are both able-bodied men. You could definitely swim if you. But you just have the capability, and it's just the same as taking a punch.
Technique,
It's just taking a punch, you know.
I should have brought, when I was doing one-to-one classes with grown adults learning how to swim, I should have brought them into the cage for an MMA fight. Listen, take the punch on the surface, all about technique. Yeah, I'm ready to do length now. But
I've had fighters on this, like, and you've never met more gentle souls.
Like, so, what's a common thing that people often do is, compare the something that they used to do to stand up or different sort of performing arts. I often compare. I think stand-up comedy, the industry can sometimes be a bit like sport. Often,
because you have so many sports people on this. It's the fight game, especially.
So this is what I was going to say. So what are the comparisons between comedy and MMA? And I'm sure I bet there are loads.
Well, so we step back from the actual competing, the stage and the ring.
Yeah.
The business, unbelievably similar. Like in that, you may not see the greatest fighters get to the top. You may not. Like in that, if there's marketability behind a fighter, like there's probably 4 or 5 fighters right now in Ireland that could strangle the guts out of Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
But they won't get the opportunity ahead of him because he's unbelievable marketability.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, look. Yeah. There's no more talking that needs to be done about it. But also the preparation, and it's a lot of it is like that, is stage time, ring time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can strangle the head off each other all day long in the cage. You can do 10 hours a day for 6 weeks in a camp. Nothing prepares you. And you can shit the bed faster. The worst gig going. A mate of mine, Will Flory, he just signed with Bellator. And he walked into the cage 14-0, had beaten the fuck out of everybody, and his head wasn't in the right place. Wow. This guy who stepped, everybody kept pulling out ahead of fighting this guy because he was just fucking mangling people, like in a nasty way, and.
What do you mean his head wasn't in the right place?
His head wasn't in the right place because he had a fighter in mind for 6 weeks prior in camp. He had all his techniques, he'd gotten the right guys in, then your man pulled out, which has happened to him a ton of times, a week out from the fight. This other guy was just thrown in. He went, you know what, at this fucking stage. And I could see him be on interviews. I went, no, when you got to treat this fella with the same respect. And in my opinion, his head wasn't right. And he just went, fine, fuck it. I won't change anything. And it was a completely different fighter.
Yeah.
And he mangled the guy for the first minute and a half. The guy snuck out from underneath him. Bang, bang, 2 to the chin. Will's gone.
Knocked out.
Wow.
God.
I remember seeing that with David. Go on. Sorry.
I say, when you're comparing, you can't give out about your agent after getting knocked out. I've got the wrong agent for this.
Well, you think, hold on. You think.
It's my agent's fault.
You think, but how do you think so many fighters stay as long at the top as they do? Because their agent is amazing at teeing up road warriors. They just put up these fucking every day. It's like the Rocky story.
Yeah.
Rocky got the title and they're just throwing fellas at him and he's like the greatest in the world because he's defended it 10 times against nobodies.
Yeah.
So they're throwing nobodies.
Trying to do
and you're blaming your agent if all of a sudden one comes out of nowhere that he didn't keep an eye on that absolutely snuffs you out.
Yeah.
So so there's a ton. There's tons of it, and the prep is everything. We probably don't. There probably isn't a proper book like there is in fighting. There probably, you know what I mean. There's a book. Look, you gotta fucking do this, and this, and get the right people in place. You know what I mean. In comedy, they probably, there isn't a fucking punchline coach and a fucking setup coach, and entering the stage coach. That would muddy the waters too much. But there's some amount of similarities between the two. Like very calm people you meet out both ends. The people at the upper echelons of comedy, and people have been doing it a long time and who are very good. Same with the fighters.
Which do you prefer now, comedy or MMA?
Comedy all day long.
What to do? Do you mean?
Yeah, to do. Yeah.
The immediate results were definitive in MMA.
Yeah.
If you strangle somebody, and that's it, you won.
Yeah.
It's almost it's a perception in comedy.
Yeah.
90% of the audience may go with you.
Okay. Yeah.
And there'll be 10 go, right?
Yeah.
Well, but if you strangle somebody till he fucking passes out, nobody can argue. That's the only side of it that I would love. I'd almost love an apprenticeship in comedy. That you got to serve your 4 years before you can call yourself a comedian. Because at least then you're on there's a bar to actually but then it doesn't become art anymore.
Yeah.
When does it stop being art? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's like Tom Stade. Tom Stade said this. When do you win showbiz?
That's the exact same thing you said. I was supporting him last year, and he said something very similar to me.
And I think that's where a lot of the paranoia comes from in this game. Is you don't really the thing is, you'll never know. You will never be certain and know why it's not you on that show. And you can't. You can go through what you think it is in your head. Another reason you think it is. Thousands of reasons. You think, it's because they hate you, or is it because of this? Did I say something wrong in a bar one time in Edinburgh? I mean, I've gone through it all. I really have. Just why? I thought I would have been right for this. Why am I not on that? And there's it's not like in sport, you lost or you won. And that's it. I won, I'm the champion. You can't be the champion of this. I mean, what is the champion of this? Because on one hand it could be, whoever's earning the most money. So, maybe Michael McIntyre in the UK, maybe he's the champion. And on the other side you go, but, a lot of critics, I think unfairly, will be harsh against Michael. So there'll be comedians that are critically adored, but maybe don't take in the money. Who's winning? No one's champion. It's just everyone's living in. I'm sure Michael will be at home wishing that he was, regarded like Stuart Lee.
Yes, that's exactly.
And all that stuff. That's why we're all mad.
That's the thing. If there is no comment. You can't take, say you took Michael and say Stuart or you or what, and you just said, all right, let's go to a place that has never had a television. Let's go find some people in Papua New Guinea, put them in front of them, see who rocks.
I would love. I mean, that would
see
be.
Who rocks.
What a documentary that would be.
Wouldn't that be? Absolutely.
Do you know what?
No preconceptions.
I went out to America and I did Conan the show. And
did?
Yeah. And I did. It was a short spot and I did it and it was great and it went nicely and all that stuff. But I was very conscious of that. I loved that there was no backlog of me. There was no preconception of me.
Brilliant.
There was nothing to compare me, to. And I loved that. Clean slate out there. It was so nice. There was, because I get very paranoid, doing television early and stuff. I've dealt with it now. Years ago, it would torment me and murder me. I'd go on stage.
Well, you're thinking about what other people.
I'd go on stage and I'd think, there are people in this room that hate me. But not my own tour. I would say I'd done like a couple of mock weeks or something. And I couldn't get out of my head that someone in this room hates me. I couldn't. It was crippling. And so be in America just going, I think this set is good. And I think most people are going to think this is good. Because it usually was.
As you said,
it was such a nice feeling.
And how do you feel like now, like when you're gigging in England? How's that feeling?
I had to deal with that, didn't I? It took me years, so I just don't care. But that, that came from That's a lot of therapy. Of course, if you've got it into your head that people hate you, that's a dark place to be. Especially when your job, the currency of what we do is likability. That's the currency. And if you've got it into your head that you're hated, you're useless.
Yeah, you've already lost the first two.
Exactly, absolutely.
And that was like, for the small bit of telly I did, I played complete opposite characters to who I was. Like posh Dublin characters and stuff like that on TV, and people you could see people go, oh. They were genuinely fucking disappointed. Yeah, no, you could see it. And I had to then develop material around the fact that, hold on one second. I didn't come into your living room and fucking lie. Yeah. That was acting, you fucking idiots. That money's long time spent.
Eric Lawler, who's a baddie in Fair City.
No way.
Yeah.
And a proper baddie.
I can't believe it.
Proper baddie, yeah.
Like there's no
the nicest man.
But there you go. It's the biggest paradox going, like, and he walks out and he makes fun of it, and he'll almost change his accent to
that's great.
Would you have to, somewhat, especially in a population so small, like, you know what I mean? Like 400,000 people a week watch Fair City. That's 1/10 of the population. You know what I mean?
It's mad, like, complete opposites.
So it wasn't that I was overly. You see, I think if anything, what if fighting the martial arts gave me was, it gave me a decent aggressive edge. Not to the point that I think I'm always right, but it was always like, right, if this isn't going right, I better fucking sort this quick. Yeah. Because I'm not quitting comedy. Yeah. I better sort this quick and find out how this is going to. So I've stopped a few times in the middle of a second, gone, all right. What's gone off the fucking rails here? What's gone off the fucking rails here? What do we need to do? Will we back up the truck around the corner and try another road? And you see people going, yeah, you better.
I've seen one of the funniest things I've seen in this venue here, I won't mention the comedian, but he had a song which was a known song.
It was definitely
I'd say it was
I won't say his name.
Yeah, Fred Cooke. And but I'd say there was around 20 in the room, and it was a hard enough energy in the room as well.
Fred, I've got to walk out on you.
You gotta go.
Cool.
Yeah, no,
I'm late.
go. Yeah, no, he's late.
I'll see you later.
Do. We'll catch you up there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
See you, Sean. See you, buddy.
That's a terrible handshake.
Sorry, that gets you better. Sorry.
There we go. Oh,
God, Lord.
I'm now late.
Don't worry, we'll get selfies and stuff. People are totally going to understand this. This is what happens in podcasting.
Do you know how to get to...
No, I'm going to get a taxi now because I'm late.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, a taxi will take him very quickly. So if you go out onto that straight across the road, grab a taxi up there, and he'll have you up there in 3 minutes.
See you later, Sean.
See you up there, Sean. So tell us, so what was the song, or how did it fare out?
Oh, yeah, so it was like, but it's just the way, the end, he couldn't recover from the joke not working, and he just went quickly into the next bit of material, like, the previous 2 minutes never happened. And it was very funny. He had a song going, it was about incest, and going, I am my own granddad, so my brothers, my sisters, my father, I am my own granddad. It's a song I heard before. And he had the guitar, and no one was laughing, and you could hear one girl going, oh, like that, halfway through the song. And then I remember he played the last chord. You could hear it was the D major, and he puts the guitar down. You can hear the guitar going against the wall. He turns around and looks at the audience. He goes, "So, what do you think of the recession?" Oh man! Well, I fell to the floor laughing. Like I was like, "This is so funny."
I don't know where it came from for me to actually. Somebody definitely told me. Some senior comedian definitely told me that it's easier sometimes to point out the elephant in the room.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was somebody big too, like Tommy. I can't remember who it was, but it was like, if it's gone off the rails, Tom, it's just you and them. You may as well ask them. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
do you know? And I'll never. But there's times when stuff is so like sitting, just because you're sitting and we're talking about it, you're sitting exactly where it happened. And I think I've talked about this in the podcast. There was this weird night I was here, and it was packed to the rafters. And the laughter was great, the claps were great. But this one couple that were sitting right where you are now, they were clapping and laughing completely out of tune with everybody else. Yeah. Like, you talk about that one person in the audience who's not laughing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I couldn't say anything, right? So they're laughing and they're retelling the joke as it's ploughing on, like there's nobody else in the room. God bless them, I'd say they were never out of the house before. But as I was, good night and thanks very much, this bloke of the couple stood up and went, like when everybody else was clapping, went, thanks, Tom. Like,
and walked out.
No, it's just sat back down. But it was almost like I performed it solely for them.
Yeah.
Like, comedy means so many different things. Like even today.
Were they on drugs or anything?
They definitely weren't those kind of people. Yeah, I think they were just out for the first time in a long time. And they had picked up on the fact that nobody else is around them. And you don't know what people's upbringings are, so you don't know. Like
Yeah.
a bloke today, I was tagged in a picture with a bloke and from Thursday night, and like some bloke wrote underneath, "Yeah, I saw the bear one time. Not as funny as I thought he'd be."
Yeah.
Do you know that it stings for a
Yeah,
split second, and then
absolutely.
you go, "Oh wait, you haven't right."
I know.
Yeah.
I don't think trolls are as bad as they were like 2011.
No.
You know what I mean? I think there's a new decorum which is fitted in. You know,
Which
they
is
can
great.
understand that. Yeah, absolutely. Like there's people who reviewed other comedians and they were mean, and I've laughed at it. You know, and agreed with it. And then I remember once the same reviewer in particular said something about me,
Right.
a TV show I did, and he said it was like the worrying annoying thing about it was everything he said I agreed with. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you know, people go, what does he know? What does he know? It's like,
Yeah.
he's actually, if I didn't know myself and I seen that on TV, I'd think the exact same.
Yeah.
But it was so hard for me to take the punch. Do you know what I mean? Because I've seen him attack other comedians, and he's very funny in his style of writing as well. Like, so. But that was the only time I really ever got punched. You know, I used to get punched when I was young. You know what I mean? Like, we were so sensitive to the elements starting off. Like, you know, you would kind of
Unbelievably so. My first ever Edinburgh review was something along the lines of, and I mean, this was so bad. Like the gig was just. It was actually a preview. We got there a day early, so nobody should. And there was 5 people in a room that can hold 60. Like, and one broke down crying in the middle of my show and everything. Sure, her father had been murdered a month previous outside the door of the venue, and she just came in drunk. Because it was at 3 o'clock in the day show, she'd been drinking since 9, bawling, crying. Natasha took her out of the fucking room. She couldn't get her beyond the door, outside the door, and she sobbed the whole way through. And I had to do a half an hour. I was splitting the show with Sean Hegarty from the north, and fuck me. And I ploughed through as best I could for a young fella who didn't know.
I know,
and it turns out the reviewer is some student who's actually studying horticulture.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and they just went. And the line was, "O'Mahony doesn't even look like a comedian." Like, what the fuck does a comedian look like? But that's, you know what I mean? That shit stung.
I know, he's all Irish, like the whole kind of said my accent was Paddy Wackery, you know what I mean? Like, I was making fun
You
of
don't have another one.
I don't, that's the thing. So you have to, from the outside looking in, and like there's different kinds of Irish. It's very successful, and I'm not even comparing myself. Like, it's not out of envy, but there's so many dialects of the Irish language. There's the Dublin Irish, you know, there's the Donegal Irish, and maybe to critics abroad, I've got the Irish Paddy Wackery Irish, because you only know the Dublin one or something like that. You know? So it's so you know you can't take, and you do realise that as well. Like as you said, the reviewer was studying horticulture and something like that. So and you know what, they're entitled to their opinion as well. It's important.
I suppose the thing is, Dave got a gig to pull off as well. They got to be entertained and justify their paycheck. You know what I mean? Like if they were high fiving everybody.
Yeah.
Do you know? So it's, I suppose, in that degree, but it is you're putting what your thoughts out there, which is weird because if you built a fucking wall and somebody came on and wrote an article about your wall, you go, nah, that fucking wall is grand. Yeah, because there's no interpretation. No, if it's a good wall, it's a good wall. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
and if someone tweeted it, you wouldn't mind. But if they wrote it in, in some newspaper, official newspaper, that's pretty heavy, isn't it?
Like, it puts a bit of weight on it.
Yeah,
all right.
Other people are reading it and stuff like that. So
it does sting. But things are on the. Have you moved to the UK yet?
I've moved to the UK 6 weeks ago. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I knew you had, but there was something in the back of my mind going, he's still ever present in my soul.
I'm always home.
Yeah.
I'm always home.
It's like Rory O'Hanlon shirt.
Yeah.
Turkey last night.
Exactly.
And I met him today. It's I'll do your podcast next week.
I actually need to come home to Ireland to work to survive in London. So that's the kind of irony about it.
What is this the next phase of evolution, do you feel?
I think it's giving myself a chance, and I don't even know what I'm giving myself a chance for. Honestly, I genuinely can say a lot of Irish comedians moved to England because they weren't getting the work. Yeah. And I was one of the lucky ones who actually was getting the work. I was getting nice support acts and all that kind of stuff. So I can't say I wasn't. But I just think that, why not? Because I can still come home here. It's not like the 60s, or 50s when you were gone forever.
You're gone.
You set up a family in Manchester and that was it. I'm 37 now, so now's the time really, because I don't want to be, if life is good to me and I'm 85 or 90 saying, God, I wish I'd done that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
now's the time, and that's the only reason why I'm doing it, but I'm definitely going over there prepared.
That's the thing,
stage time. I learned
You've done your learning, really,
Yeah, no, I'm always learning. Do you know what I mean?
Right, sorry, yeah.
One of the reviewers, he goes, he was like, it was a driving show that I did.
Yeah.
And he goes, I still have my L plates on for stand-up comedy as well. Do you know, like, which is, it's very funny, fair play to him. But I was like, I'll always have my L plates on. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause you've never sussed it. Because the moment you suss it, what's the point?
Well, that's even what I asked last week's guest. She's a DJ, Orla Feeney.
Yeah.
With RTE Pulse. And I said, are you still learning? Because she's a headliner everywhere she goes in the world. Like, she goes, absolutely. Like, you can't stop. Like, as soon as you think you've learned it all.
Exactly, yeah. There's always something. There's always something new or a new idea or something like that. So
yeah. And it's, I suppose, and you develop systems too. Like, I was asking Rory O'Hanlon how his Edinburgh show is looking. And he was like, he says, I'm shitting the bed. He says, but look, he says, I've done it so many times now. He says, I have a kind of a thing in place.
Yeah. What's the thing?
This year is, it's going to be, it's knitting it all together is going to take at least 5 or 6 days. Because he says, I have all my 10s and 15s ready to go, but he says, this year it's not really going to be a theme.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There isn't a theme to it. It's going to be just Rory throwing out the jokes.
Yeah.
Like. So,
and he would turn over a lot because he's not a one-liner, but he gets close to it in time.
Like most of his jokes are done inside a minute, like, you know what I mean? So, there's a lot of fucking stuff there, like, you know. That was tricky. I was on Thursday night. One of the acts pulled up 8 minutes short.
Yeah.
And it's weird, isn't it? Because had it been a few years previous, I would have been, oh, fuck me, what do I do now? Because you know what you're going to do between the acts. I'm supposed to be doing 3 minutes between each act. All of a sudden they went, Tom, can you do 11 minutes instead?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. But
it was okay. It was grand. It was like,
stage time helped you, yeah.
It was.
And you'd won over the audience at that stage anyway, so like,
we'd all endeared ourselves with each other with the audience at that stage.
Sorry about that.
It's alright, it's a bag full of rubbish anyway. That's my man bag. Who was, Charles Regan was admiring, he was like, could you get a more manlier fucking man bag?
Yeah, it's a lovely bag, Tom.
It's, I think it's originally meant for fish.
Yeah.
I think it's meant for fishing. It's just...
waterproof.
It's waterproof, and I just... It looks all right. Do you know what I mean? Where you can carry stuff in it and not look like a knob jockey. Like. Because and one thing I noticed, a lot of Eastern European lads, they wear a lot of those Adidas little hip bags.
Yeah.
I could never bring... And a lot of young lads around Dublin, I've noticed, are wearing them.
No, there's very little space to put anything in it, isn't there? Like,
well, like, I mean... For how long, Fred, did we go around with just our pockets?
Yeah, I know.
In your coat or your whatever. I only need a bit more space.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't need... If I'm going to have more space, I may as well have a fucking a proper bag.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When was the choice to go with the guitar? Because that in itself, I'm always in admiration of the comedian that'll bring a fucking guitar around.
I know, yeah.
It's some pain in the stones. At least you're tall. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're tall. You can... Like with me, the guitar would pass me out, and I'd be... Do you remember Mad Max 2, where your man
haven't seen it.
Okay.
Go on anyway.
There's no explaining this. It's like this, the head guy out of this weird gang, he wears like a skull on top of a stick just over his head. And it's... but it would hit off everything. Like, at least your head will meet most things that you're about to
know, yeah.
You know.
I started with the guitar.
Did you?
Yeah. And then I got a bit snobbery about. People were talking into my ear, going, it's a prop. Guitar's a prop, and I believed him. I believed him, and I was doing really well at stand up at the start, and then I kind of went a bit shit because I got rid of the guitar because that was my thing. You know what I mean? Like just having it there. To be fair to you, you don't you use it almost as a part of your voice in a way, because there's some comedians who go, right, well, here's the next one. Yeah,
and they're almost, well, are you a musician or? You kind of go, you twang it along and you go, wait, I tell you. And the fucking guitar gets thrown behind the back and you're like, and you're into another bit and you're going, we'll throw out this bit here. And we're back into another joke. And that's what that's where with me, I can't even relate you to a musical comedian, because I go, he's just a bloke who has a guitar for a few old, a few chords, samples. And it's just so...
Music samples and stuff.
It's the perfect half balance.
I often feel, I'm like, we see Glenn Hansard on stage, or Christy Moore, and like they'll tell a few jokes and then all the songs, and they're all on the guitar. I'm like that without the actual songs. Do you know what I am? I just kind of... it's more of a moment thing, you know what I mean? Like,
I like it though.
If Glenn Hansard tell loads of jokes but never sang one song from beginning to end, that's what my stand-up be like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of... That irrelevant... Not irrelevant chat, but just kind of banter. with the audience.
You did. I like the way you did compare yourself to two unbelievable superstars.
Who aren't comedians, someone else.
Although Christy has his moments, in fairness,
Jesus, he does. Yeah.
Now he's still knocking out the same jokes like 20 years later, but sure, look at if you can get mileage off him.
That's what, without mentioning Tommy Turner too much, but he was saying it to Bernard and Shay and myself last night about, can we, this is what he said, Tommy, but we've got old material and like, we're always worried, have the audience heard it before or something like that. But the audience just wants you to perform that material, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As if it's the first time. I think that's more important than actually caring how old your material is.
I for sure have been asked. I've been asked to. I joke. It only happened about a month ago. I was down in Waterford or West Cork. I can't remember. But it was a joke I hadn't told in 4 years.
Yeah.
And one fellow went, "Tell the banana joke, Tom."
Yeah.
I was like, "What? Go on."
Yeah.
I went, "I fucking told them all about it."
Yeah.
So I went, well, all right. Thank you very much, because you just eaten up 11 minutes of material there.
Yeah, brilliant.
It was perfect.
Yeah,
but it was weird that somebody had actually, like I was Neil Diamond or something, and he was he was shouting up requests.
Yeah. Well, funny, I've seen Neil Diamond live and he sang Sweet Caroline 4 times. 4 times. I'm not joking.
Did he?
Yeah, Glastonbury, yeah.
Where fucking played it?
I think it was the second song, and then he played it acoustically, and then he finished with it. And I did a gig with Johnny Logan once in Bohemians. It was a fundraiser for the Bohemians Football Club.
Right.
He was singing songs then, and he did Hold Me Now 4 times. He did it was around the time of the McDonald's ad when Hold Me Now had that
Oh
thing.
my God.
He did that version of it, like a hip hop version, and then he did an acoustic version of it. And then he did it 3 times, and he just sung it for like the actual version of it itself. Like,
do you know what? There's a thing though.
But he's giving the people what they want.
It's true, but at the same time, deep down your soul, like in 20 years' time, people will turn around to Fred and go, sing us the Facebook one there, Fred.
Yeah.
You'd hate to be hanging your hat on that too. Like if you went, all right, for old time's sake. But, But like around that time, I remember I was in Bruxelles.
I don't know if I would. Genuinely would. I'd be happy just to perform it, and if that's what the crowd.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. But at the same time, you wouldn't be going, please ask. In your head is what I'm saying. You wouldn't go, please ask for a Facebook song.
Yeah.
Do you know, and there's times when you there's a bit of sadness in that when you kind of see somebody going, oh, right, because that was an absolute smasher, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's a difference, the luxury we have in comedy over music.
Yeah.
That they do have, yes, they can rock up and they can sing the same songs for 40 years in a row.
Yeah.
Whereas with us, we can go, nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I got a new thing in my head here. Now, trust me, it's just as good. It's just as good because it's just words.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Like, and it's some comedians will make fun of their old jokes in a new way. Do you know, like Peter Kay with garlic bread? He brought that joke back. Yeah, I've seen other comedians do that as well. Like they made fun of what they were known for, with new jokes on top of it. Is
there a laziness in that? Do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think there can be.
Or is that like what I was talking about, where you're going, we're all in this together, lads. 100%. You know what I mean? Like, which I love. Like,
you kind of give the audience what they want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you're thinking. And this is what. This
is why you come to see me.
Yeah.
Well, this is why that joke is actually really funny in the first place. So you're giving them a bit extra than why they're there in the first place.
But that was it. Like on Thursday night, it was myself, yourself, Catherine Lynch, and Farmer Michael and Kathleen. I mean,
diverse. Hence
why I wore the jacket.
Yeah.
Now their characters are all very very diverse, but there's no doubt how culty we were. Like,
unbelievable, yeah. Even though Catherine did her Dublin character.
Yeah, I thought she was going to do the Traveller for some reason.
Yeah, me too.
But it worked out fine. She'd bang on 20 minutes, so I was happy with time. Like,
it's a great lineup. I was just, and that's the thing with festivals. It's a good thing, nice thing for the audience. But it's a pity we all couldn't have done 20 minutes extra on top of it. But that's the way it is. You know
Stop.
What I mean? Like,
I mean, that's the thing when it was going well that night too. Like it seemed to, the anchor seemed to come up very quickly. It was like,
you get that light very quickly. Yeah,
the show was over very quickly. Like, but
pity.
You can only be thankful for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also, actually, I must check 1 or 2 dates with you actually because I just got a text about a gig down the country. Just popped into my head just there.
Well, that's the first time I met you. It's that gig we did down in Ballyrag. No, it wasn't Ballyraggard, was it? Wasn't it?
Where did we meet first?
Me, you, and Paul Marsh. No, I'd met you before, but the first time I gigged with you was down in Tipperary.
In Paul's hometown, which is, Jesus Christ, it's only up the road from me.
Ballyhaggard or something.
No, it's not a Bally. It's not a Bally. He's from Ardfinnan.
Ardfinnan, yeah, well done, yeah.
That was a great pub, wasn't it?
Yeah, mighty. And that night, Do you remember it was I was on stage.
Yourself and Ger something or other were late coming to the gig, weren't you?
Yeah. And Ger had a piece of rope as a belt on his
That was the first time I've had to kind of improvise and go, okay, so the set amount of time I have, and they were like, Tom, the lads aren't here yet, and they won't be here for another 15 minutes, which is a fucking lifetime to an MC, but...
So Paul wasn't on that night, it was
I think he did it.
You, me...
Yeah, Paul had been on and dusted.
Yeah,
the next thing he went, Fred isn't back yet, and the break had been done, and I was back on. Yeah. But it was... I remember thinking, fuck, what do I do here? Oh, right. I better start.
Yeah.
Material that was kind of half written. I better.
Yeah.
But that was a cracking gig.
There's an old guy in the audience that night in the back of the couch, and his daughter came up to me. I think the daughter was around 50, and she says to me, this is what she says. She goes, my father can't hear one single thing, but he just laughed at your facial expressions for the whole show. That's what she says. I'm delighted.
That's something I said to Tommy Tiernan. I was opening for him one night in Cork, and we were sitting backstage, and I'd never met the man.
Yeah.
And I says, look, I won't bother you. I said, if you're going over here, I said, no. He said, I'm in good old form. I think the show should be in good shape. He's down there. We were chatting away. He's asking me my story, and we were telling him. And I said, Fred, typically, he says, he loved you, right? And I said, do you know what? I said, Fred, you could not design a custom-built stand-up comedian better. He's the right height, he has the right spatial awareness, and he has the right look. I said, if I was designing one in the morning, I would be Fred. Yeah. And that's when I said to Tommy, I said, he would never be if I walked in and Fred was my accountant, no, it's not happening. Because you'd come in and go, well, lads, do you know, you're too happy about the moment. And I was like, but if you walk in and there's Fred Cooke going, man, into fuck, we're going having a comedy gig, you go, yes, absolutely we are. Absolutely. And whatever else you're selling, Fred, I want it. Yeah. Because it just, I think he called it the spirit of the clown. But you do have it in you. And was there any performers in your family like?
Definitely not on stage, but in rooms. My grandaunt was a phenomenally brilliant piano player, and even when she was blind, she could still play the piano.
Go away.
Yeah, amazing. And so sang in the choir. And Mom's not a performer, but she's a great social energy. You know what I mean? Like for chatting and stuff. And you know, Timmy, my brother, he can't sing really or play any instruments, but he loves football. You know, we're complete opposites, really. Yeah. And but I think as far as professional performers, people making a living, like I think I might be the first. Right. So yeah. So but you probably have that as well.
Same. So
rural character. Character performers.
Yeah. I know the rural people and all the rest of it. Yeah. I think. There's John Francis. How are you keeping? We're having a bit of it. One of the resident barmen here. Do you know what? We're pretty much on the hour mark as it is, Fred. Will we wrap up?
Tom, here. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for doing it. Thanks for popping in. Pleasure. Where so people can follow you and find you and all the rest of it?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm doing a tour with Bernard Casey in Ireland in October.
Bernard, brilliant comedian.
November, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Edinburgh for the month of August.
Where are you going to be in Edinburgh?
The Gilded Balloon.
Brilliant.
8:15.
Smashing
so I'm really excited. And I haven't done Edinburgh in 5 years. So you know what I mean? It's kind of... So I'm looking forward to getting back.
Class.
Yeah.
Well,
so thank you so much, Tom.
As the doors open, thank you very much, Fred Cooke.
Cheers.
Well, fair play to the boys. Thanks a million, Fred. Thank you very much, Sean Walsh, for jumping in and then jumping back out. That was pretty fucking cool. The boys, as I said, I'll put their links to where they're going at Edinburgh if you are thinking of popping over there at all. And also Fred has a tour around Ireland coming up soon enough, as he was talking about with Bernard Casey. Fair play to the boys. That was good fucking crack. Like I said, if this is your first time listening, hit subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to, whether it's whatever you found it on. Fucking hit subscribe. It'll be in your ear holes twice a week with the Ramble Pod, as well as the interview one on the Fridays. If you are listening through the Apple Podcasts app, give us a rating. Give us a 5-star rating. Don't worry about it if you think it's worth 4 stars. Keep them to yourself. I only want 5 stars. Because 1 or 2 cunts have put in a 1 star. Obviously just being bad cunts who have nothing better to be fucking doing with themselves. And if I catch you, I'll fucking pull your head off. But for the most part, the Soundskins, the absolute 100% revolutionaries of the fucking buckshot fucking Church of Tom, have given 5 stars. And if you have a 5 star in your pocket, fuck it up there onto the Apple Podcast app. Also, leave us a review down the bottom. Just give us a hey, fair play to you, kid. Just write something down the bottom. It's always good. It helps people find the fucking podcast faster. That's the whole idea of it. It's not really about fucking people, because Apple don't look after fucking, they don't really rate you on how many fucking downloads you get, even though it's doing very well at the minute. They rate you and fucking put you up the charts. Not that I give a fuck about where I end up in the charts, because how am I going to go up against some amount of sucks that are fucking up there? Because you see, they have their fucking, their genre of what they're going after. There's some drum they're fucking beating about, some fucking thing anyway. We're not banging a fucking drum, we're just having the fucking crack. And if you think it's worth it, leave us a fucking review. Do you know what? Because it'll defy these other fucking cunts who are just wanking around. And don't worry, I don't need to tell you who I'm talking about. You know who I'm fucking talking about. These, oh fucking poor me, woe is, go fuck yourself. This is having straight out the fucking gate crack. And most, if not all people that listen to this, get the fucking crack. So like I said, rate, leave a review. Beautiful, fair play to you. Also, I'm going to be hitting the fucking barbecue hard over this fucking weekend. There's Rib Mania happening tomorrow. I will be slapping that stuff up on social media. I'll throw it up on the old Chatty Snatch, which is, if you want to follow me and you haven't followed me, it's tombearomahony. All the other ones, Tom O'Mahony Comedy, will find me, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook Comedy. You'll find me there, right? Not a fucking bother to you. You'll find me there. Send me pictures over the weekend, right? Send me your pictures over the weekend, because this weekend, if you are in the Cork district, I will be in City Limits, headline in City Limits, Saturday night. City Limits Comedy Club, one of the fucking best in the country, one of the few purpose-built comedy clubs in the country. I love playing the fucking place. I lived in Cork for 7 years. I fucking can't wait. The chips will be fucking unreal afterwards. If you fancy it, pop on in. Let's get a bag of fucking chips and chat the fucking crack. For now, send me on them fucking pictures from the weekend. I want to see the fucking crack, lads. I want to see the crack. Rate, review, be class, and keep her fucking lit.